Hey John, I drove by yesterday and saw your old man's Bentley, the S550, and a really cool Aston Martin. Are the boys back in town?
Yeah, it's monthly meeting of the Crooks Are Us.
Matt, it's your shot. Three ball, corner pocket.
Every month, my dear old dad brings in his top lieutenants for what he tells me strategy and planning session. I call it corruption and racketeering session.
What's the big deal? So they have a meeting each month. Maybe they have a gang, as in 1920s gangsters. Okay, I'm up. Alright. Six ball, side pocket. Crap. I think you guys are being too hard on John's dad. He's been taking all of us out to the hunting lodge on the St. John's for years. We practically grew up out there. We've been hanging out in those deer blinds. Okay, we called them tree houses since we could barely climb the ladder. Remember, I think we were in third grade the first time we took one of your dad's rifles with us. The gun was so heavy we had to tie a rope to it to pull out the blind. Oh yeah, forgot about that. We're lucky we didn't shoot ourselves. Anyways, six ball, corner pocket. We've been shooting those rifles out there for 10 years. Your dad may be an ass, but he's taught us a lot about shooting rifles.
My father says I am flesh of his flesh. I can't escape it. In time, I will be like him.
That's crap and you know it. You'll never be like your old man. He's an ass, and you're nothing like him. Get out of your head. Eight ball, corner pocket. For the last 9 months, John and I have listened in on their meetings, and what we've heard has just made us sick. We would often sit in the dark and listen to how truly masterful crooks operate. John's dad and two of the guys have worked together since the 1970s when they got their start in the savings and loan businesses. By the mid-80s, taking advantage of weak federal regulation and the value of government-backed bonds guaranteed by the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the Gang of Three put together enough deals to walk away with more than $250 million each. Within a couple of years, the S&Ls will be dead at a cost to the U.S. taxpayer of $145 billion. Sound familiar? With a mountain of cash, they moved on to the go-go days of the 90s and the dot-com hysteria. Adding their next member, they were now the Gang of Four. The new guy was a mover and shaker on Wall Street. He knew all the key players for the big brokerage houses and the world's largest banks. You needed information, you needed dirt, you needed contacts. This guy made it happen. With some well-placed marketing money and help from their connections with the major brokerage houses, the Gang of Four drove their valuation of their dot-com companies way beyond their true value. Playing on the greed and emotions of investors, the Gang of Four executed a series of IPOs over a 6-year period that earned them $850 million. To his credit, John's dad hunted companies like he hunted deer. He watched the market with unemotional coolness, pursued his quarry with cold-blooded determination. When the timing was right, he pulled the trigger. After 9/11, the Gang of Four saw a movement within the government to further ease regulations on mortgage banking and financial institutions. Although looking for an opportunity to use their experience from the SNL days, the now Gang of Five had set up a group of companies that bought and sold mortgages in the subprime market. The sixth member of the gang in Washington, lobbyist, who was brought for more than one simple purpose: to help gain access to billions of dollars of bailout money flowing out of Washington. One night we heard them joking about a poor woman who froze to death in her home because she couldn't afford the heat. John's dad laughed and said this was simply cutting the weak from the herd. These are bad guys, and they need to be stopped. What we're asking you to do is join us in this protest against these men. John has prepared these instructions for the protest and each of these gang members. That's it.
Hey guys, Sam and I have prepared schedule updates and surveillance videos for the day of the protest. I've taken the liberty to send them to each of you. Once you're done reviewing it, please destroy it. Good luck.
Hey there, Zach. Your protest will be with the inside man in New York. In some ways, he will be the easiest because he keeps a very detailed schedule. On the day of the protest, you can acquire him at Grand Central Station. He always takes the Metro North Railway line from his home in White Plains, arriving at 9:10 a.m. on track 35. From Grand Central Station, he will likely go one of two directions. If he goes up the stairs, he'll be heading north on Park Avenue for a meeting at AIG. If he boards the subway, Line 4, Lexington Express, he'll be heading to Wall Street, exiting the subway at the corner of Broadway and Wall. He will go east on Wall Street, past the New York Stock Exchange, and then turn right on Broad Street. His meetings will be at Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch. Hey Sam, you get to stay warm. You'll be tracking the lobbyist in Palm Beach. The lobbyist has a special meeting each Monday afternoon. The young wife of a Palm Beach developer leaves her waterfront home, traveling by boat, and meets him at the Hula Bay Club. After lunch, they take her boat across the cove to his yacht for a couple hours of meetings. The punctuality between these two is crazy, so be prepared for her arrival afternoon. Hey Matt, I selected you specifically to handle the protest of the mortgage expert, Mort for short, because you are the best downhill skier among us. Mort skis most Mondays at the ski resort in southern Vermont, just a few hours north of his home in Connecticut. Preferring only black diamond runs, Mort shouldn't be hard to track. I will check my dad's calendar a few days before the protest to verify he will be skiing that day. Hey Aaron, you get to stay close to home by protesting the subprime executive who we will call Mac. While Mac's work keeps him in Washington, D.C. area Tuesday through Friday, he owns a home on the golf course at Bay Hill where he spends his weekends. Mac has a standing tea time every Monday at 10 a.m. You can begin your last-minute recon at the clubhouse and calculate your movements from there. Hey Pete, you'll be protesting the guy I call Junior, who lives just off campus from Boston University. Just before noon each day, Junior leaves his brownstone heading up Beacon Street towards the Boston Common. He will often spend the time in the Commons before heading north towards the Charles River, where he crosses Stirrow Drive and the Hatchshell footbridge. He sometimes jogs and sometimes walks, depending on the weather and his schedule. As with any battle, and I do see this as a battle for our future, the element of surprise is essential. If you have any questions about what we are asking you to do, let us know by Friday. Otherwise, the protest is scheduled for a week from Monday. Sam and I wouldn't ask you guys to join us in this protest if we did not believe that our generation faces a clear and present danger. Drastic times calls for drastic measures. Our economy's future hangs in the balance. While my father is the heart of this national conspiracy, each of your fathers is guilty for standing by and watching, as our future is sold for a few silver coins.